The stock has grown by a whopping 800% since its IPO. Amber is unique. Their clients are also their competitors. And most fruitful bets that you can make in your life will be on monopoly businesses. These acquisitions and partnerships will determine the future price of the stock. If I tell you a secret about AC companies like LG, Voltas or Samsung, you will think twice before buying from any of them. They all have the same supplier for their AC key parts and components. What's the point of choosing if they are all the same? It's as if all the mithais are made in one hub, then distributed to various outlets to be sold in different shops. Amber Enterprises is that hub for AC manufacturing. Same item, different packaging and branding. So what if you get to own a piece of that hub? I had the same idea. I couldn't wait to get my hands on Amber during its IPO in 2018.
It's the third IPO in less than a month in 2018. Amber Enterprises looks to raise 600 crore rupees from the primary markets.
But I didn't get it back then. How could I? The stock was oversubscribed by 165 times. For every one stock, there were 164 other buyers like me. This IPO N2 reflected in the market as well. The stock has grown by a whopping 800% since its IPO. I know. You're more interested in what's going to happen next. How much more return it can provide, considering that they are doing more than just HVACs now. If future projection is all you're interested in, then you can directly skip to the forecast section of the video. And for those who want to savor the meal and not just skip to the dessert, let's find out the secret sauce in Amber's success story. Their journey is full of surprises. And the first thing I would like to say is, Amber is unique. For starters, their clients are also their competitors. Confused? I'll tell you how and the effect it will have on Amber's future stock price. But before that, I just want to quickly tell you what you can expect from this video. How Amber almost accidentally got into the AC industry, the offbeat path it took to make its business robust, why its clients are its competitors, factors in favor of the company, and of course, where do we see this stock in the coming years? The path of Amber Enterprises has been quite a fascinating one. Initially, they were only into the manufacturing of sheet metal components for tractors, light commercial vehicles, and telecommunications industry. It all changed in 2000 when the current CEO Jasbir Singh joined the company. He saw an opportunity for sheet metals in window air conditioners. Mind you, this was a time when air conditioners were still relatively new in India. It had one of the lowest penetration rate in the consumer durable category in India. Luckily for Jasbir, this coincided with the economy slowly gaining traction. India had moved from agrarian economy to service economy and was now gearing up to become a manufacturing-driven economy. On top of that, the government sped up the process of giving access of electricity to the whole country. The timing was perfect. In 2003, Amber Enterprises became an original equipment manufacturer, producing its AC units based on designs from customers. By 2010, they had developed enough expertise and enough confidence in the strength of the market to start building its own designs and models. From a single factory in Rajapura, Punjab in 1994, today they have grown to 27 manufacturing facilities across 9 locations in India. I'm sure you already know that some of the safest and most fruitful bets that you can make in your life will be on monopoly businesses. For example, it's highly improbable that IRCTC will face any kind of challenge in the coming years. Amber's moat is similar. Maybe not to the extent of IRCTC, but still pretty solid. As I said in the beginning, Amber makes components for majority of the top AC companies in India. So it's really going to be difficult for a new company to challenge its dominance. Amber is backward integrated with them, meaning it has presence in both the component space and the finished goods. Just like how Apple makes both the chip and the devices. This strong integration has been reflected in the numbers as well. Their compounded sales growth for the last 10 years has been at 21%, and their profit growth has been at 20%, which is wonderful. To understand how they've been racking up such good numbers, we need to understand their business model. Amber has 3 key business verticals. RAC and Components Division, which accounted for 74% of their revenue in financial year 2024. Electronics Division, which accounted for 19% of their revenue in 2024. Railway System and Mobility Division, which accounted for 7% of their revenue. If we see their product portfolio, the consumer durable section, which consists of RAC, non-RAC and washing machine components, has increased from 7 categories in 2020 to 11 categories in 2024. The results so far in this segment have been good, with the revenue growing by 95%. It has happened mainly because of prolonged summers and expansion of product portfolio, like Tar air conditioners, window top throw inverter series, and more. In the electronics department, they only had one category in 2020. Cut to 2024, they are across 6 segments, including smartwatches and defense. Their association with Korea Circuit, a pioneer of the Korean printed circuit board industry, has certainly helped them scale up. This is the fastest growing vertical in the business. They have even revised their guidance for this year from 35% to 45% for growth. The key moment for the railway subsystem and mobility division happened in 2019 when they acquired Sidwal Refrigeration. It provided them exposure to sectors such as railways, metro buses, defense, and telecom. And as we are on the subject of acquisitions, I want to point here that Amber has consistently made right strategic acquisitions and partnerships. These are some of the most critical acquisitions they have made over the years. In terms of partnerships, they have formed a bunch of alliances which has propelled them in multiple directions. Some of the key ones being Korea Circuit, Yujin Machinery, Titagarh Rail Systems Limited, and the popular wearable brand Noise. These acquisitions and partnerships will determine the future price of the stock, which we are going to discuss now. Though they have given a guidance of 45% for the electronics division, nothing concrete has come for the other two sections. The earnings per share for the trailing 12 months is 55.14 rupees. Stock price is 6200 rupees, thus a PE of 110. Now let's calculate the future EPS with this formula. Future EPS equal to current EPS into 1 plus growth rate raised to the number of years. To determine the growth rate, we'll look at the compounded sales and profit growth. Sales growth in the last 5 years was 20% and 3 years was 30%. Profit growth in last 5 years was 7% and 3 years was 16%. Being on the conservative side, if we take EPS growth rate to be 20% over the next 5 years, the future EPS would be 137.21 rupees. Now, using the projected EPS of 137.21 rupees, let's calculate the stock price in 5 years' time for different periods. Future stock price equal to future EPS into future P ratio. If P remains the same as of now, which is 110, future stock price would be 15,093 rupees. If P reduces to 90, the stock price would be 12,348 rupees. And if P increases to 125, the stock price of Amber in 5 years would be 17,151 rupees. Please don't forget that these calculations are based on the assumption that EPS would grow at a rate of 20%. But if it's rather able to maintain or overshoot its last 3-year growth, the number may be much higher. Also, the market may give it much higher PE due to its rapidly growing electronics division. Also, post 2026, they are expecting to see a rapid growth in their railways division due to the new order that they have received, the Vande Bharat train, which will start rolling from the year of 2027. What about the HVAC segment of the company? Remember I told you how its clients are also its competitors? This unique relationship is called co-opetition, a mixed bag of cooperation and competition. Amber Enterprises has companies like Blue Star and Voltas as its clients, and it manufactures components and even finished goods for them. By outsourcing production to Amber, Blue Star and Voltas can benefit from cost savings, focus on branding and distribution, and use Amber's manufacturing expertise to bring products to market more quickly. But, despite being a client, Blue Star and Voltas have their own manufacturing capabilities and they produce some of their products in-house where they compete directly with other OEM and ODM manufacturers, including Amber. This is one of the biggest threats that Amber has in the AC industry. If AC companies decide to invest heavily in their manufacturing or switch to a different OEM, Amber's revenue could be impacted. Another competitor that the company has is Dixon Technologies. Dixon is a major contract manufacturer in electronics division, including consumer electronics, lighting, home appliances, and now HVACs. Their aggressive approach in expanding in multiple sectors has led to its rally in the stock market, moving from 3,000 rupees in March of 2024 to 15,000 rupees in November 2024. On the flip side, there are a lot of things going in favor of the company. The recent PLI scheme has acted as a catalyst in creation of a local component ecosystem for the air conditioning industry. The local value addition in the RAC sector, which was around 25% in 2021, today stands at more than 50% after the scheme and is expected to reach up to 75% by 2028. Moreover, the demand for the commercial ACs is also on the rise and is projected to capture 30% of the market share, boosted by the demand in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. Initially focused on providing PCBA solutions for inverter ACs, Amber has diversified its offerings to include solutions for home appliances, consumer electronics, hearables and wearables, telecom, smart meters, and the automotive sector. Their capabilities were further fortified with entry into bare PCB manufacturing, which positioned them to explore new opportunities in aerospace, defense, medical electronics, electric vehicles, mobile devices, and energy solutions. In the railway subsystem and defense division, they broadened their portfolio from HVAC solutions to doors, gangways, pantry systems, pantographs, couplers, and other railway components. With manufacturing being their DNA, Amber is fully aligned with this transformative journey. As our journey in this video is nearing the end, let me share my closing thoughts on Amber. The promoter holding has been consistently around the 40% mark for the past 5 years, thus restoring the faith of the investors too. The permanent employee count has increased from 1615 in 2023 to 1990 in 2024, an almost 20% jump, indicating business expansion. Out of the 3 business verticals of Amber, India is still in early stages for 2, the electronics and the railway subsystem, which is expected to grow rampantly in the years to come. While the AC segment may have some competition, the increasing heat waves and the fast adoption in emerging cities cannot be ignored. Through its strategic partnership and new initiatives, Amber always tries to stay ahead of the curve. The prospect of Amber Enterprises looks really strong, and the company seems to be on course for doing great business, which would be fundamentally solid. So Provestors, do let us know your thoughts about Amber Enterprises in the comment section and which are your favorite AC stocks.